Hello and welcome to The Charismatic Voice, a practical and scientific guide to making your voice better. Today I'm going to be going over the key factors for determining your voice type. A lot of people think that range is what defines your voice type, but there are other things to consider. The tone quality of your voice is equally important, and size, tessitura, and physical characteristics are also key indicators. Before we dive in, I want to mention that vocal categorization originates in classical singing, and I'll be talking about how voices may be classified in other genres at the end of this video. The first thing to consider when determining voice type is physical characteristics, especially gender. If you're a man, you'll be a countertenor, tenor, baritone, or bass. If you're a woman, you'll be a coloratura soprano, soprano, mezzo-soprano, or contralto. And age is also important. As you get older, your voice changes. Women's voices drop in pitch, and men's voices actually raise a little. And for those of you who haven't hit puberty yet, all kids pre-voice change are considered sopranos or treble singers. After physical characteristics, your range, your tessitura, timbre, and weight are all equally important for determining your voice type. Let's start with range. Your vocal range includes the pitches you can sing reliably in performance. A lot of singers want to classify themselves according to their range when they first start singing, but that's kind of like classing yourself as a backstroke swimmer when you've never taken a dip in the pool. The muscles just haven't had a chance to develop, so start with some vocal exercises to stretch and strengthen your voice, and then test your range a few months later. Here's a quick guide for vocal ranges in female singers. A coloratura soprano typically sings from C4 to E6, soprano from B3 to C6, mezzo-soprano from G3 to A5, contralto from E3 to F5. And here's the guide for male singers. Countertenor sings from G3 to E5, tenor from B3 to C5, baritone from G2 to A4, and bass from E2 to F4. I dive into detail on each of these main 8 voice types on other videos on my channel. So once you have a ballpark idea of what you are, go check out those other videos and hit subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications for future content. Not to be confused with vocal range, your tessitura does also describe pitches you can sing, but it's different because it doesn't include the highest and lowest pitches. Rather, your tessitura is just the sweet spot in your voice, where you feel most comfortable and want to sing all the time. A person's tessitura usually spans about an octave and sits in the middle of your voice. This is particularly helpful for identifying singers who have a really large range but may prefer to sing in one area more than another. For example, many mezzo-sopranos can hit a high C, but they may just feel more at ease singing in a lower tessitura. Timbre refers to the color and tone quality of a voice. Imagine you're creating a painting with your sound. Is it bright and brilliant, or rich and dark? Higher voice types are typically described as pingy, bright, and ethereal, while lower voices are often described as dark, velvety, and rich. And if you're a middle voice type, you probably have qualities of both. The weight of the voice shouldn't be confused with the timbre. The weight is how heavy or light the voice is. Is your voice like a frisbee? Is it easy to toss and float a high note? Or does your voice require a little more Olympic lifting? Higher voices typically are smaller and lighter, while lower voices are heavier and pack a punch. Now don't forget that this system of classification is based on operatic singing. In choirs, singers are often divided into just 4 categories: soprano and alto for females, tenor and bass for boys. And pop and musical theater use different vocal techniques, so some of these things don't apply very well. And keep in mind that voices change and grow. I started out my classical career as a coloratura soprano, and now I sing some mezzo-soprano repertoire. Your voice will develop with time and practice, and that's a good thing. If you want advice or help developing your voice, feel free to reach out to me personally at thecharismaticvoice.com or comment below. I hope this video helped you discover a little bit more about yourself, and thanks for watching.